with the floods disaster in Queensland's north, which have devastated large parts of the region and now taken the life of a second person.
Let's go live to Today Queensland reporter Andrea Crothers at the Emergency HQ. Andrea, she was found as waters receded.
Yeah, guys, this devastating find after a neighbour of that elderly woman raised the alarm. They hadn't seen her since 6 p.m. on Monday. They went and inspected her two-storey home yesterday, couldn't find her. Then, as those waters receded, that heartbreaking find, the 82-year-old woman's body at the back of a cane paddock north of Ingham. This is now the second life claimed as a result of this flood disaster. A 63-year-old woman, she died on Sunday after an SES boat flipped. We know Ingham has been at the centre of this flood disaster. The town has been cut off, power, food, even water, all scarce. Yesterday, the Woolies reopened. Police actually had to stand guard, only allowing 20 people in to enter at a time. Supplies also rationed there. There were fears that the water supply would run out within a matter of days. The Defence Force brought in a power generator to assist with that overnight as well. Meanwhile, Townsville residents, their flood has been shifted from major to moderate for the Ross River, so they've actually been returning home there. We know there is a mega clean-up ahead. But finally, on a lighter note, guys, we've just been talking about that mega barra. What a catch for one person to bring in. Some people making the most of the situation.
Wow.
Huge. Thank you, Andrea.
New this morning, a young man has been charged after an alleged violent rampage in Melbourne's southeast. Live now to Today Melbourne reporter Christina Hearn with the details. Christine, this all came to a crashing end.
Certainly did, Jane. Police have actually been tailing this red Holden ute for some time, believing it to be involved in some armed robberies. Police then, in this unmarked car, crash into this ute and arrested the two alleged offenders inside. Police are alleging that they robbed a tobacco shop in Bentley, slashing a male staff member and then going on to rob a tobacco shop in Mentone. Overnight, a 20-year-old Cranbourne West man has been charged with a string of offences, including armed robbery and assault with a weapon. There's an 18-year-old man that remains in hospital under police guard. As for those two police officers in that unmarked car, they sustained minor injuries. Jane.
Christine, thank you. Now to some breaking news this morning. 10 people have been killed after they were gunned down inside an adult education centre in Sweden.
Oh my God, det var skjutning, folkgruppen! Oh my God, det är skjutning! Oh my God!
Live to Europe correspondent Edward Godfrey. Edward, what more do we know?
Well, Jane, the details are developing quite quickly. Now, what we do know, as you say, is 10 people have been killed in this mass shooting in Sweden. It's happened at an educational facility in the city of Örebro in central Sweden, about 200 kilometres west of Stockholm. It was initially reported 5 people had been shot. That was then revised to 6 taken to hospital. That has changed in the last 45 minutes. Swedish police saying 10 people have been killed. It is possible there may be more. It is a complicated crime scene and work is currently underway to identify the dead. The campus is called Risbergska, a school for mature-age students. Pupils sheltered in other buildings at the campus and under desks inside classrooms while the shooter was active. It's understood the shooter is among the dead. Police believe he was a lone attacker and they are not calling it terrorism at this stage. It prompted a massive emergency services response, as you would imagine. The scene, it is a large and complicated scene. They remain there and it will be a long night ahead. They've been raiding several properties in the city of Örebro just in the last hour or so as well. We are expecting to hear from Sweden's Prime Minister shortly, Jane, but as of now, 10 people killed in this awful incident in central Sweden.
Yeah, devastating, Edward. Thank you. Residents have slowly been allowed to return to their homes overnight after a massive fire tore through a factory in Sydney's west.
Whoa! Feel the heat from here.
Live to 9 reporter Bianca Balzer in St Mary's. Bianca, what is the latest you're hearing on the fire ground?
Well, Jane, the fire is now apparently out, but we've still got emergency services here on the scene monitoring the situation just outside Cleanaway. Now, This is the kind of building that stores things like batteries, aviation fuel and gas cylinders, all products with explosive potential. That is exactly what we saw here yesterday, just before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, 150 firefighters from all around Sydney were brought in to try and fight this blaze. While they're called to factory fires quite a bit, this was a real behemoth for them to tackle. It reached the 14th level alarm, which is the highest classification for a fire. Now, at times they had to retreat and had to brace for cover because you saw those fireballs exploding about 60 metres into the air. 2 firefighters were treated by paramedics here for heat exhaustion. One of them was actually sent to hospital as well. While that was all going on, we had police working hard, creating this exclusion zone of nearly 1 kilometre. Among the buildings that needed to be evacuated included a childcare centre. Now, as you said, everyone is allowed back now, but there is still quite a strong smell of smoke in the air today. We'll have the Environmental Protection Authority come here to check just whether any hazards are still lingering in the area. And also later today, we're expecting fire investigators to come here and determine, Jane, the cause of the blaze.
Bianca, thank you. Former Victorian crime boss Tony Mokbel could walk free within weeks as he fights to overturn major drug convictions. It comes after a damning ruling from a New South Wales judge found deliberately unlawful conduct took Mokbel down more than a decade ago. The 59-year-old currently serves a 26-year jail sentence as he waits for that appeal to be heard. A 40-year-old woman has been left fighting for life after being hit by a bus in Sydney's north. It was around 9:15 last night when the woman was struck in St Ives before paramedics treated and transported her to hospital in a critical condition. The bus driver was also taken to hospital for mandatory testing. Audio has been played of Matilda's star Sam Kerr's police interview following an alleged racial harassment incident in London. Live to Europe correspondent Jessica Millwood, who is outside Kingston upon Thames Court. Jess, you've been in court. What did Sam Kerr have to say in this recording?
Oh, Jane, this recording was of the police interview, which took place some 17 hours after the alleged incident at Twickenham Police Station on the 30th of January 2023. In it, Sam Kerr admits that she was intoxicated at the incident at the police station, but that she was very fearful for her life. That is after a taxi driver drove her and her now fiancé to the police station. They say he was trying to keep them hostage. He says they vomited and broke a window inside the cab. Earlier in the day, Sam Kerr's lawyer questioned Police Constable Lovell about the night and specifically whether or not he knew who Sam Kerr was when he was speaking with her. He said that he did not, that he was not a football fan. In his initial witness statement, he didn't make any mention of impact on him that the words white and stupid made. But then in his second interview, some 11 months later, his second statement rather, he said that those words made him feel very upset and offended. Now, Jane, the court has just released to me the audio of Sam Kerr's police interview, so we'll bring that to you in the next half an hour.